Hey, what's up, sports fans? Welcome back to another edition of Sports, of course, with Jonah and my man RPF. RPF, great to see you, as always. Well, you know what? I don't know that we have a great show because we're doing something entirely new this season. We are just basically reading headlines as they come, trying to create a more bar conversation atmosphere.
Don't let our millions of fans leave us already without guaranteeing them a good show. It's going to be a great show. Hello, am I not here?
Well,
it's
of course,
be a great show.
Yeah. Of course it is. Of course, it's going to be a great show. It doesn't matter what we're talking about. It's going to be a great show.
It's true. It's true.
We got a lot going on. As always, it's been a fantastic week in sports. We've got Final Four stuff going on. We've got MLB is just, obviously the first week or two of the season. So let's start RPF. Let's start with today, as we record this, the Masters is kicking off. That's always a great time.
This morning. He
just did this morning.
In fact, as we speak, Tiger is 38 minutes away from his first tee.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So
we might have
to talk fast.
I'll tell you what. Maybe we'll do it live.
Maybe we'll do it live. That'd be very.
Can
cool.
you watch on your? Is there a way that you can watch on your phone? We'll just do it live.
Yeah, of course. Yes. Technology has.
We can do all the commentating.
I've also been able to stop the VCR from blinking the clock. Yes, technology has progressed. I can watch live television on my phone. Yes, and I'll be definitely doing commentating. Yes,
we can do a live golf play-by-play.
Tiger has a noticeable limp as he walks up to the
let's talk.
6 blonde girls in the front row. I'm not sure.
Tiger is playing.
Yes, he is.
It's obviously always a huge storyline.
Yes, he is. But not the biggest one. But not the biggest
go ahead.
One. I mean, I'm just thinking. This is to me like
what do you got?
Like the LIV. Is it LIV? PGA stand up.
Yeah.
And LIV is like it's like after all the hype and all the drama and all the the contentiousness. It's like so far, because if Dustin Johnson and Phil Mickelson are the two representatives from that golf league, shall we say, from the Saudis, that could be that could be most in contention against Scheffler and Rory and all the other guys. They're not going to do anything. So this could be, first of all, the Masters is one of the few tournaments that actually allows them to play. So
the four majors.
Yeah, four majors, right. They have to step up, because if not, where are they going to go? I mean, so anyway, the point is, I find that to be the kind of like the headline, but the kind of the subtext of everything. And also, I'm roaring for Rory, if not Tiger, of course. Tiger's always been mine, like everyone else's first choice. But Rory could complete finally his career Grand Slam if he just wins this one. And my last tidbit to this, the 13th, what's it called? That bend they do, the corner that they had to round.
Oh yeah, the
whatever it's called.
Amen corner, something like that.
The Amen corner, right. Yeah. They lengthened that hole by 35 yards. It's always been the easiest hole. And now I think Rory is actually in a better sitch. Because now people have to decide, do I go for the green or do I chip up? So that's going to be, or do I lay up? That's going to be interesting to see if Rory's type of ballsiness, if you will pay off.
Sure, I will.
Yeah, exactly. Rory's not going to say, I'm going to lay up. He's going to be like, sure, give me the 1 iron. Anyway, it's going to be, anyway, I love the Masters. I think it's the most beautiful event to watch on television. For sure. And that Tiger with that burgundy shirt on Sunday is a special sports moment for decades.
Yep, always. I have a question for you. What's your general take on the LIV Golf? And if you want me to start with this, I can. I really like it. I like what they're doing.
I like the idea of more competition to sports. I like.
Well, here's what I like about it is
I don't love the Saudi connection, frankly. But that's
of course right. Yeah. No. I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about the product that we see on TV. Mm-hmm. I'm not talking about back end stuff.
On the CW. Sorry.
Right. But I love the fact that they're just they're injecting energy into golf. You know what I mean? Like you go I've looked at tickets. I looked at tickets last year and it's And I'm looking at ticket packages, and I'm like, oh, this package includes like the post-round concert, and I'm like, what?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
You know, so they're
and 2 Molly pills. No, and after hours with bar crawl with I will tell you this.
Yeah, it'd be fantastic.
But I will tell you this. I think it's very interesting you said that, because I'm thinking that LIV has to be almost like what the USFL is trying to do with the NFL, and with even now conversations about tennis. Tennis and golf are the 2 most august, country club sports of all time, right? They're like, you have rules and traditions, and you have to, be quiet all the time. It's like being in temple or something. It's like, so this whole thing has to be. Now there's even like Francis Tiafoe, a top 20 player for the U.S. in tennis, said, why don't we let people talk and walk around during why are people standing? Because none of my friends are going to sit there like mummies for 3 hours and watch a tennis match. The same thing with LIV Golf. Why don't people let them talk? Maybe right before the shot, they don't scream like boo or something. But beyond that, let people talk, let people go crazy.
Yeah.
They have cheering sections. Let's have cheerleaders. Let's bring it on. I want marching bands on the 17th green. I want to have the whole. LIV Golf has the opportunity. They can't be PGA light. We have that. We have the PGA, which we're very comfortable with. Give us the alternative, the exact opposite of what PGA does. That's how you get young people, I think.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Let fans go nuts. I mean, for a second there, I was about to say,
fanatic. Where's that guy for Dustin Johnson?
That'd be awesome. There's wild mascots running around. One of them gets hit with a golf ball, way down the fairway.
with a foam ball. It'd be great.
So I was about to say, it'd be tough to let fans just kind of go, you need this quiet moment right before the shot. But then I was like, why? I was, and my reaction was because, they allow fans to basically get so close to the player that it, it can get strange and it can get personal. But then I'm like, well, shit. Have you ever tried warming up in the bullpen in Philly?
Exactly. Or the Kings
fans,
or something. Yeah.
These fans are right on top of you.
Yeah.
And I mean, you wouldn't believe some of the
Philly
shit
fans are so recognized sports wide that they're so moderate.
At least they're polite about it.
Yeah. Philly people.
Mr. Bayless, you are no good. That's what they
exactly.
say. Mr. Bayless, you are no good.
Reconsider your career choice.
That's exactly how they said it.
You bum. No, the thing is, it's interesting. I really think. I'm old school. I like both things. I like the contrast. I love the idea of having PGA be like this, and also I want to see the other golf tournament going. Hit the ball, mother! That type of thing. I'm sick of standing here. It's hot. Go.
All right.
Maybe what we do is you have sections in each hole that the top 4 contenders have their fan base there together, right? So then you have like a calling section back and forth in town. There's things to do. I would love to be talking about marketing. I'd love to be a marketing director for sports. I think you and I both would actually be really good at this if we say so ourselves. I think we'd be.
If I do say so myself, right.
Last week we fixed baseball. Now we're fixing golf. We're here to help people. We're here to help. Sports
fixing everything as we go.
Clearly, sports needs us, and we're here on this earth for a bigger calling, and it's to cure and fix sports for all of mankind. I'm here for it. Jonah, you are my partner in crime. Let's do this. Next week, curling. We'll fix the curling.
No, you do not need to fix curling. Curling is perfect as is.
Perfect.
So, all right. So, So LIV Golf, you're right. The storylines this week will be pretty cool because this is the first Masters that the 2 entities have existed. Last Masters, LIV Golf wasn't really a thing
and
yet.
It haven't kept up. Is there beef currently with players? Is there something going on? Or
not like it used to be.
Yeah. No, not between LIV and PGA, but talk about players individually. But talking trash to each other or trash talking.
No, not really.
Talking.
Not really. Everyone's kind of settled everything. So,
okay. All right.
It'll be interesting. It'd be a great storyline. Obviously,
could Cameron Smith win? You think?
Yeah, of course he could. It'd be great. Listen, it would be great and very entertaining to see a couple of LIV Golf guys in contention on Sunday, coming down the final couple holes, and
DJ, Rory, and Tiger at the final, and tied for the lead in the final 9 holes.
Yeah, be fantastic. Be fantastic.
It'd be so good.
All right, let's move on. I got something I want to jump on real quick, because baseball is sort of obviously continuing.
And by baseball, you mean
continuing
baseball,
to go.
BEISBOL.
Baseball.
Yes.
Baseball is continuing on, and more and more and more and more and more. I love the pitch clock.
Yeah, of course. Pitch clock is amazing.
Well, you say, of course. I can't tell you how many. There's a Facebook group of former players and whatnot, and I can't tell you how many
Wait.
I can't tell you how many former players.
I pitched 4 World Series in my mind. Okay, I'm completely should be qualifying myself to be in that group. Okay,
I can't tell you how many former players are just up in arms about this pitch clock thing.
You're destroying baseball. And I'm like, old school. You're like, baseball's not time based. It's when it's done, it's done. And,
I absolutely love it. And obviously what they're showing a lot of times is they're showing the hitters getting frustrated with it.
Yeah.
Right. But I think they need to realize that like the hitters can use this as a weapon as well. Like all of a sudden, like pitchers were always taught, hey, if you start getting into a jam, step off the rubber, walk around the mound, let everything come back. Now, all of a sudden, when pitchers give up a walk and then a double and then a walk and then a base hit, they don't have the luxury of.
I think it's a great.
Innovation. Yeah, they got to get back up on the mound and keep throwing.
Yeah. I think it's the same thing happened with tennis again, with the tennis clock and the serve.
I didn't know the history of that, but
that was a huge controversy 4 years ago. All of a sudden, 25 seconds to serve between points, and Nadal couldn't, yank his shorts 14 times. He has to just do it once. And I love Nadal, so he can yank away in the locker room, but he can't yank on the court. If not, he gets a time violation. And then after the second one, you lose a point, and the third one, you lose a game. So it is serious stuff. And the games are going like this, much, much better.
Imagine that, a time violation for yanking.
You never had that problem.
So another second one.
Yes.
Second one. This means cut. This means
I was wondering what that meant. I was like,
no. This means second.
Yes.
Second thing that I'm loving about baseball is the and I knew this would happen, and this is a great the rule that you can only throw over twice.
Yeah, that's the thing I was waiting for.
I forget the exact numbers that I saw, the stats, but stolen bases are through the roof so far.
1,000% higher stolen bases attempts than so
like
far.
Literally 8,000% higher.
It's like Manny Ramirez would be trying to steal a base now. It'd be like it'd be like I mean, it's making baseball look. Here's what I know is interesting. I've been, as I record all my Boston Red Sox games on DVR. For years and years and years and years, I had to always do the DVR function that says, they always block a certain time, then add time to your recording. If not, you miss the back end of whatever. I always have to add 3 hours to baseball games because, in fact, the 3 hours they allotted, it's not enough. It could be 17 innings and whatever. So literally, I've added 3 hours just because out of habit, I've added 3 hours every time. Every game has ended before the initial recording was meant to. That hasn't happened ever. So I'm actually very encouraged that this is a positive development. 3 hours to devote to one game a day is a good commitment. Enough. There's 24 hours in a day. If 3 hours,
perfect.
Exactly. So I think that's a very
perfect.
I mean, I'm all in for all these rule changes. By the way, but even in the Red Sox, the first 2 games were like 10-9 and 9-8 or something. So it's like clearly we can't pitch, but at least we're having fun hitting the ball around and running the bases and doing all that stuff. So I'm in. I'm in for all the changes.
I am too. So sticking within baseball real quick, any other headlines that have grabbed your attention in baseball? It doesn't have to be. I'm just curious.
Ohtani is so good.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I mean, but I don't think.
We'll just put that as a constant headline for the rest of the year.
I want to be clear about this because I don't think I'm not going to disparage anything. But if Ohtani's name was John Smith, he'd be lionized as LeBron. Ohtani is LeBron, and Kobe. I mean,
I
he
disagree.
hasn't quite proven himself yet to that level, but he's going to. And there's nothing he can't do better than anyone else. And I think that's really exciting.
I disagree to the point that I think there's almost like, I think maybe it's just me. I don't know. Maybe it's because I played in Japan and I loved it so much. Not baseball
players. Talk about the fans in
Milwaukee.
No, but fans in Florida. I'm talking about, not you as an insider that knows the sport and knows how good he is.
I feel like there's this like, to me, there's this like allure of like this guy that came from, the other side of the world that we've never seen anything like. And it's like, holy shit, what is this?
And does that upset you? To me, it builds. He's taken over the mantle that you used to have when you played. That you had that aura about you when you were pitching for the Pirates and the Royals. You were like the monster from
my head.
You're a monster from another part of the world. You came over from Massachusetts and completely.
Yeah. In my head, you're right.
Let me ask you this: How many towns are you the only professional athlete from your hometown that you know of?
Athlete? No.
Like are there hockey players and whatever?
Well, there was a football player.
Oh, okay.
Same high school class.
Wow,
Scott Farley.
You guys used to go like an all-you-can-eat buffet runs and stuff.
And then there's been a slew of minor league players. Just not to my knowledge. I don't know the last one that made it to the major leagues, but
okay.
There's actually been a ton of.
It's a big deal that you're a pro athlete in your town, right? Kind of cool.
Small town USA. So it was cool.
Right.
It was cool.
All right, but I was wondering that if you were the big man on campus for your small town. So
at campus, I went to Trinity College. That was only like 1,800 kids.
So yeah, so then for sure you were like the only person that walked.
But it's an academic institution, so no one cared about sports.
Exactly. Like a bunch of science club members were like, "Okay, whatever, dude, whatever, dude." Like they can't, like they were mean girls to you. Like you can't sit with us. Meanwhile, in their like nerdy glasses, and you're like, "Okay, cool with me. I'll just go out with that girl over there. Thank you." Okay. Anyway, now I'm not sure why we're going down the rabbit hole of your.
Yeah, I don't know, but it was Ohtani. For me,
Ohtani,
and I might be on my own on this, but for me, I think the fact that he's from Japan across the world, I think that adds to my infatuation with him. But
look, personally, that's exactly right. But if he was to me a Dominican, or if he was like this, like Trout, an American guy, or whatever, I think it would be
a fish. But honest to God, for a split second, I was like, a trout. I was like, what the?
Oh my God. No, if he was a turtle or a rabbit, one thing. But a trout, he'd be a superstar. Okay, first of all, you've lost your mind. Okay, you lost the narrative. Now, I'm just saying, I want people to be like unbelievably excited to be in his presence when he's playing, because that's the special thing. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I want people to be more excited.
Here, yeah, and let me. I mean, I can give you an example, a real life example. He is the first player that I just recently, the other day, I started looking at the Angels' schedule to see when they come to New York, because I was like, I need to go see.
Listen, I mean, even from
that's the first time.
From the World Baseball Classic,
that's the first time I've ever done that.
I'm glad you kept the momentum up from the World Baseball Classic, because when we started the podcast a couple of years ago, you were like, baseball player, ex-baseball player, and baseball's like, whatever. You weren't that excited about it. It was certainly not, not like Patriots football for you. So it was. Now it's like. It's with all the rule changes happening at the same time and having more offense and having more kind of a consistent type of time block. It's a good time for baseball right now. By the way, I just saw a headline. Speaking of headlines, that the minimum salary for baseball went up.
Yep.
And then
minor league.
But now for major league also, like if you're like the worst player in baseball,
it goes up every. It goes up every.
You get $700,000 a year. The average salary for baseball is almost $6 million a year. The average player in Major League Baseball game. I mean, I'm thinking all these guys are like these tubby guys that are like third string catcher in the bullpen. What? He's getting how many million? I can sit in the bullpen.
No, he's not. What? He's not getting millions.
He's not, right? Yeah. Okay. He's the guy that has to like ask his.
Well, the tricky part with baseball, you got to be careful when they say the average salary, because in baseball you've got like
Aaron Judge.
You've got 25 guys on the roster. You've got 20 of them making like, $1 million and below, and then 5 of them are making like
Aaron Judge,
40 million.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. Average doesn't mean anything. That's actually true. All right.
Yeah.
Let's move on, shall we?
Okay.
I think baseball's in a good place. We're excited with baseball. We have hope for baseball to have a great year. We're hope for like a fantastic kind of like all summer back and forthness. And, and we think this is a good start for the changes. Next year, they should definitely implement the changes that you and I talked about last week's podcast. Definitely. Remember, that was our tour of fixing sports one by one. We fixed baseball. Right. Now we just fixed golf. Now we're going to move on to a headline that I'm interested in.
Okay.
When we started the season weeks ago, we were talking about definite done deal that Aaron Rodgers, taking a break from his manifesto writing in his cabin, is going to be the new quarterback for the New York Jets, making the AFC East with all the changes.
You said that was a done deal. Well, you said that was a done deal.
Well, okay. By we, I'm trying to protect you from being wrong. I'm just trying to. Anyway, so the point is that the AFC East, if that would have happened, or could still happen, but if that happens, it would be literally the AFC beast, considering not only the talent that's already there, but the enhancements of all these teams. Even the Patriots have done a bit of an upgrade with their stuff, with the wide receiving core and your targets for you just have to find a quarterback. But besides that, I think the AFC East would be the dominant division to look to, at least certainly for entertainment value. It's going to be really fun to watch. Yeah. But what happens now? My question is, Aaron Rodgers is still not a Jet. Every day that goes by, the Packers have more leverage, not less. I mean, so I don't know what the Jets are going to do. I mean, what do they do? What do the Jets do if Aaron Rodgers becomes like a Washington General or a Commandeer or whatever the hell the name is?
Yeah, I don't. Here, two things.
You don't know. You don't care. You don't care. Just say what you mean.
Two things. Two things. I said that Aaron Rodgers was not going to be a Jet.
You did say that.
I was not believing all this hype. There's too much going on to actually make it happen, in my opinion. Second thing, to your point that you just nailed in the head, I don't give a shit what the Jets do from here.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Teddy Bridgewater, he's available. I'm telling you, he should definitely go to.
I don't care. I don't care what they do. I don't need them to be any better. As a Patriots fan, I don't need the rest of the AFC to continue to get better.
It's scary
as we continue to get.
It's going to be scary. It's going to be fun. I mean, fun. I say now without playing, but like even that. I was thinking about this. We all know what teams our favorite teams are playing against. We just don't know when and what schedule. Mm-hmm. I was looking at the teams. Right. I'm like, there isn't an easy team. I mean, it's not even parity. It's like teams are good. It's not even good. Before, parity was always like a fight to the middle, like who's going to be 9-8 or whatever. This year, there's literally 70% of the teams are legitimately able to win 10 games or more, and that's something they won't because they can't, because obviously the math doesn't work out. But I think, on any given Sunday, it's going to be a very easy phrase this coming season if people play to their potential, right? So that's going to be very interesting to see. Garoppolo, he's excited. I know you don't find him that interesting, but I think he's found his hole. He found his slot. What's going on today? Yanking and hole are doing the same.
I'm marking that one for a highlight.
he found his hole. Oh my goodness! Thank God for that. It's been a while. I guess he couldn't find his hole in San Francisco. He had to find his hole in Vegas. Like so many others before him. He found his hole in Vegas. Anyway, oh my God. Okay,
that was great.
Okay, so what's your take on what's next on your list of things that are interesting to you?
I got a headline that I'm looking at right here that could tie into the Jets, I suppose, and I have a 2-word answer for it. The headline is Cam Newton open to being a backup in quest of return to NFL. And my 2-word answer is go away.
Well, that reminds me of a bit of my favorite Twitter guy. You may remember him, Chad Ochocinco, the wide receiver who is living in Miami, and he is brilliant / a mess on Twitter, and he's literally like he tweets it like Match.com and like his personal texting to people individually, but he does it publicly. So he's like hitting on girls at 3 a.m, and he's like talking smack about other players in front of, thinking that he's private. It's very good and terrible at the same time on Twitter, and he's been wanting to come back to play football for a decade now. And he always says, I can play right now, I'll race you. And he's like challenges like current players to a 40-yard dash on the beach or something. And then they end up meeting up and going to like a drive-through at 2 a.m, to talk smack about somebody. Anyway, the point is that he's not going anywhere. Cam Newton's not going to play anywhere. And neither is anyone else that is. He opened up what ex-player, what's his name? I keep forgetting his name. The Colts quarterback who quit at 25 for concussions.
Andrew Luck.
If Andrew Luck came back in shape, people would be interested. Somebody would be interested. I think, you have to prove it that he still has it. But yeah, short of him and Kaepernick, I think he's done. And so who's left that is no longer playing quarterback? I mean, that's the hard one.
I don't know. I don't know. But Cam Newton was just an absolute shell of himself when he, in his last couple of years.
It was a mess. I mean,
I
think he's hoping that the whole thing around Lamar Johnson, that he could be like Lamar Light, and people who wanted Lamar but can't afford him or something. The same kind of quarterback, the same kind of. In his heyday, Cam Newton was like. But
I just remember watching Cam Newton in his last couple of years because he was a Patriot. But I remember watching him his last couple of years, and he physically he just looked broken. Like even when he ran, it didn't look fluid. When he threw, it was like.
Listen, I'm the same way. I was looking because I thought I was going crazy when I was looking at old Teddy Bridgewater videos from when he was a Viking. He physically looks different with the Dolphins. He lost like 30 pounds, and he looks like someone who's on the episode of Cops or something. He looks like he's like on the front porch waiting for the cops to come. He didn't look good. He didn't look healthy. And then you have Lamar looking fantastic, and you have Tua in the weight room. I'm like, and they show Teddy with like a little like skinny fat beer belly. I'm like, oh my God, do people stop caring? Is that what happens, or is that?
Well, in Cam Newton's case, I think he just got beat up. Like he was a mobile quarterback, and he just got pounded.
Yeah, he did.
But anyway, right. I don't know.
Question for you: can Edelman come back this year if he wanted to? Anywhere?
Edelman?
Yeah. Not for you, but just for for the Jaguars or something.
No.
Probably no. You think he's gotten too rich and famous and slow?
Yeah, I mean, he just.
I'll tell you what my friend said in LA.
I don't know how old he is. I don't know how old he is.
He's like 32 or something. I posed 33. I posed a question to my friend in LA, and he's like, sure. Did he grow? Did he grow a foot? He's like, oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Just wondering.
I don't know. So someone like Edelman, who here's why I say no is someone like Edelman, his entire game revolved around his quickness and his agility. Yeah. Not necessarily his speed. He wasn't like the fastest, breakaway sprinter, but like just his quickness and his agility and to be able to run routes so precisely and be in the specific spot that he needs to be in at the exact
He knows how to run a route, and he had a quarterback that knew how to throw a route into a spot.
Right.
So,
but that agility and that quickness, I mean, that starts to deteriorate like late 20s, so to keep that up. Yeah. And when I say deteriorate, I mean like you lose a fraction of a half a second, but that's
what
he always needed.
You have DBs like the Dolphins have now, and other good teams have. It's hard, it's really hard. Question for you. Okay, let's make a right turn here. I predict unpopular prediction of the day. I think the upcoming basketball playoffs, which are just less than a week away, are going to be unexpectedly fantastic. I think the games, the teams are like that were up here are coming down. The teams that were here are coming up. I think the momentum is like right in that type of spot, a sweet spot that could be really competitive. I think some games will come down to to buzzer beaters, and it's gonna be fun to watch. I think, again, like we always talk about, last 5 minutes of every game, we should definitely have it DVR'd because it's gonna be fun to watch. But I think I'll predict this. I don't think the top 2 teams in each conference, which is Milwaukee and whatever, I think Denver, they're not going to be in the finals. I think it's going to be other teams that are not the top seeds will get into the finals, so which will make it more interesting to watch the playoffs.
Yep, that's fun to see. I like that.
What's your hockey take?
Hockey take?
The Bruins are doing fantastic.
The Bruins are out of control.
Boston Bruins, for you people who don't follow hockey. And you stumbled on a pop culture podcast. This is not exactly. On Bravo, we have Scandival. Anyway.
I don't know. It's obviously it's easy to just sit here and say the Bruins look tremendous.
The Vegas.
I'm just excited for the playoffs to start. I think they start on the 16th or something like that. I think it is
like a week from Sunday or something. Next weekend.
Yeah, hang on. I was trying to pull up. it up real quick, but I didn't see it. But I think what I'm most excited about in hockey is I follow Wayne Gretzky on Instagram. That should come as no shock.
Hero.
But he started getting creative on Instagram. I'm like, whoa, Wayne, okay, here we go. So they're teasing, they're bringing some guy onto the broadcast for the playoffs, specifically I believe to bring in some lighthearted comedy aspect. I don't know who this guy is, but they did a little promo of it. Could
it be Sean Avery?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You want to follow a hockey player on Instagram? Follow Sean Avery.
Sean
he literally, I told you this before. He does his Insta stories are like 17 panels long, and he's watching the game with his newborn son on his lap, and he's literally watching, and he's telling you how this player really is in real life and how awful or good he is, and then watch use the nuances of why someone's so brilliant or so bad. This goaltender has no right to even play the sport, let alone in a professional way. He's literally the definition of unvarnished and unedited and completely unfiltered. It is riveting to watch.
That's funny.
And he yells at people. He yells at his own followers who counter the fan base that he's insulting. He's like. And he goes after, he's like this, he's almost the enforcer still. He's 5'9", ball of, and I told you, I've met him a few times and hung out with him a couple times. And he's exactly like that 24/7. He's great. And, he's and he's married to a supermodel, used to intern at Vogue magazine and fashion design and modeling stuff. So has this kind of well-rounded type of Hollywood, shtick going on the side of his hockey playing. Anyway, but he's really, really good to follow on Insta. He's fun.
Okay. All right.
Especially now with the playoffs.
Give him a follow.
With the playoffs, yeah.
Here's an interesting I call it a headline for hockey, if you know hockey at all. As of right now, so most teams, I'm looking at it right now, most teams are at 77, 78 games, somewhere in there. They play 82, so there's 4 or 5 games left. As of right now, the Pittsburgh Penguins are out of the playoff picture.
I know. My friend's from Pittsburgh, and she's like a Steeler Penguin diehard, and she's in quiet mourning. I said, well, you have Waddle in Miami, you can do the Penguin for you.
Now, I say that. I mean, they're only 1 point behind the Islanders and the Panthers. The
Panthers are going to...
There's 4 games left, so there's obviously still quite a bit of room to get in.
That's a bigger story. The Panthers were predicted to be the best team in hockey this year, and they're barely hanging on to a playoff.
Right, because they were great last year, right?
Yeah, fantastic. In fact, they were the best team last year, and they lost dogs to Tampa Bay. Not like dogs, but
and then Nashville's got a chance to squeak in there. That'd be fun.
Okay. Is this a new discovery?
Nashville, I'll tell you what.
You're like, hockey.
Well, I haven't been paying attention to the bottom of the playoff picture.
It's the Bruins. It's the night. What's it called? The Night Jackets, whatever, in Vegas.
Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights.
The Golden Knights.
The Night Jackets. Yep. What the hell?
Anyway,
the Golden Knights. They're doing very well too, and I predict that those two will be in the final. It'll be really fun to watch Boston and Vegas. Right, whole different.
Boston and Vegas would be fun. Yeah. But I'd love to see Nashville squeak in the playoffs. I'll tell you what. I used to live outside of Nashville, and I was at So we used to go to a lot of Predators games. The ironically fantastic hockey town. Like they just love their Nashville Predators.
Miami like hockey better than anything. Miami, which is like,
and the games are just they're the atmosphere and the games are just unbelievable. So I remember I was at the first playoff series that the Predators ever won. So they advanced to the second round. It was they went like 3 years in a row to the first round, and they kept getting eliminated. They played like the Ducks a bunch and the Canucks a lot, and I kept getting eliminated. It was a game 7 against Anaheim, I think, in Nashville, and they won just to go to the second round, just to get out of the first round of the playoffs. And you would have thought they won the damn Stanley Cup. I mean, I'm saying this and it was so amazing. It was so fun. I mean, the stadium, the arena just emptied. And in Nashville, it's really cool. It just empties right onto Broadway where all the honky tonks are and bars. As the arena just emptied, and Broadway was basically just shoulder to shoulder people. And it was like they won the Stanley Cup. I mean, people were just like hugging and kissing in the street. And
so basically, it's basically a Tim McGraw concert, just outside. Country music. Nashville.
They play Tim McGraw every time they score. They play "I Like It." I love it.
I want more of it or something. Anyway,
I want some more.
Yeah, we can dissect some country lyrics later, but I will say, I think Nashville is a fantastic sport. I mean, I think Nashville should have every sport. I mean, I think Nashville should have a baseball team. I mean, it'd be fantastic.
They have a AAA team, and rumor has it they've been petitioning for quite a while.
Right, they're on the short list, yeah, for sure. If Vegas
get a big league team, if
Vegas doesn't get the A's, Vegas is up first apparently for a baseball team, and then Nashville is on the list for second behind Vegas. If Vegas gets the A's, then they're the first expansion, and they're looking to expand by two teams at least. You're thinking, get this: if let's assume the A's go to Vegas just for a minute, because there's still a chance they stay in Oakland. But if they go to Vegas, then it'll be Nashville and wait for it, possibly Mexico City. Wouldn't that be fun? Like Montreal and Toronto, why not go to Mexico City, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So anyway,
that'd be very interesting.
I want to talk about one last thing before we wrap it up.
Okay, let's do
always, this is spring is when this is what we call in my life Nadal season. That's when I park myself in front of my 60-foot television screen in 4K, and I watch Rafael Nadal play clay court tennis, which is his specialty, which is this is the swing through Europe leading up to Roland Garros, which is the French Open. So all these clay court tournaments are really, really big. They include Monte Carlo, which is a 1,000 series, which is the highest category besides the Grand Slams. They have Rome, which is a 1,000 tournament. They have they have Madrid and Barcelona, another 1,000 in Madrid. So it's all these huge tournaments in red clay or on clay that Nadal historically has won, at least like 10, 11, a dozen times each, leading up to the granddaddy of them all, which is of course the French Open in Paris, the Roland Garros. And he's won that 13 or 14. I can't even keep track anymore. Incredible. He's won more times than anyone in history. The point is that this, in 1 5-minute period, both my two favorite players who are going into the best phase of their swing of the year, Nadal and the phenom, the teen phenom from Spain also, Alcaraz, they both withdrew from Monte Carlo because they're not quite ready their bodies are breaking down a bit for different reasons. So that all of a sudden,
Alcaraz is breaking down. Isn't he like?
Well, have
15?
You seen him? By the way, did you see his? If you guys have by the way, he just played. He's becoming the biggest rival for Alcaraz. Is becoming the most fun to watch. Is a guy named from Italy, but his name is Sinner, Sinner, which is very funny.
Yeah.
And he weighs like $100. I mean, he weighed 100 pounds soaking wet, and the commentator was like, "Oh my God, he packed on muscle." I'm like, "Packed on muscle where? His toes? He looks like olive oil from Popeye." Anyway, so the point
Tiger's teeing up, just so you know.
So Sinner is from Italy, and Alcaraz and they're becoming, not only are they best friends, kind of close friends off the court, a bit like Rafa and Roger were before them, but they're like, they have played the most epic matches. In last year's U.S. Open, went into 3 a.m, with 5 sets. It was like 2 match points were saved. It was crazy. But even between the points themselves, the points are like 20 to 25 strokes, and they're like stretching each other to the limit. I mean, it's the most bonkers. This year already in Miami this past week, they played a point that will never, I don't care if it's this year or next, will never be repeated. Please go on YouTube and just do point of the year, Sinner Alcaraz Miami. You will get a treat about what athletes do. And then you tell me how Alcaraz couldn't be hurt. I mean, he was stretching in splits, and it's just like, I mean, it's like Expando Man, like, what's it called? The guy who stretches, Stretcho Man, whatever.
Elasto Man, or
the guy from the Fantastic Four, the guy who stretches, whatever. And the point is that, and then Sinner is like this gangly, like praying mantis hitting everything in sight. So it's just, but yet they're contrasting styles. They're incredible to watch together, and they're both going to be, and Sinner's 21, and Carlos is 20, just turned 20. So basically, wow. They're going to be around forever. Anyway, the point is, this year, Monte Carlo looks like boring. Djokovic, of course, is going to probably take that crown. But Rafa is setting himself up, once again, to come in kind of hobble to Roland Garros, and once again, miraculously, somehow end up winning that title. So I'm not terribly worried, but I'm just saying it's disappointing that I'm not going to be able to watch my two favorite players start the season, but they're going to be hopefully healthy to watch them in Paris for Roland Garros. And that's what I want to leave my part of the podcast. Any last thoughts on your world? In your world?
Tiger teed off and he hit it right down the middle. So, as we all know,
he's going to win. He's going to win. So
that's all. That's the show we have this week. And thank you so much for tuning in
on Sunday in contention. Oh my God!
Thank you so much for tuning in. You can find us anywhere you listen to your podcasts, Apple, Spotify, Podbean. We can also be found socially on Instagram and Twitter, as well as at our dedicated YouTube
as well as our dedicated YouTube channel. Just go search Sports, of course, in the search bar. Sports, of course, with Jonah and RPF, and we'll pop right up.
The bastards. Okay. Jonah, great episode. We'll talk to you soon, brother.